Up high in the Himalayas, there's a place called Uttarakhand, which people call Dev Bhumi, the land of the gods. And in this incredible landscape grows a tiny ancient grain with a really special name, Ramdana. Today, we're going to dive into the amazing story of this Himalayan treasure.
You know, the local name, Ramdana, it loosely translates to exactly that, the Lord's grain, or the grain gifted by God. That name alone tells you everything. We're not just talking about something you eat. We're talking about a grain that's deeply woven into the spiritual and cultural fabric of the mountains.
So, what is it about this tiny little seed that makes people call it divine? Why has it been so cherished for centuries in one of the toughest landscapes on Earth? Well, that's the big question we're going to answer today.
To really understand Chaulai, we have to go back, way back. Its identity is all tangled up in ancient traditions, nomadic legends, and sacred rituals that have shaped life in the Himalayas for generations.
There's this old legend from a remote village, and it goes something like this. Nomadic ancestors used to carry roasted Chaulai seeds with them on their long journeys. One day, some seeds accidentally fell on the ground and they started to grow. The tribe saw this as a sign from the heavens, so they gave up their wandering life and settled right there, building one of the very first farming communities, all centered around this sacred grain.
And this really speaks to the ancient wisdom of Himalayan farming. See, Chaulai is a key part of this amazing system called Barnaja, which literally means 12 grains. Farmers there don't just plant one big field of a single crop. Nope, they mix a dozen or more native seeds together. Millets, lentils, beans, you name it. What they create is this incredibly biodiverse and tough little ecosystem that can actually survive the harsh mountain climate. It's brilliant.
But here's where the story gets really interesting. The grain's role in the culture is, well, it's complicated. On one hand, it's falahar, a pure food, perfect for religious fasts because it's technically not a cereal and it's super easy to digest. But then, in this fascinating twist, some communities are completely forbidden from eating it during Shraddha, which are the solemn rituals for their ancestors. So it's both sacred and sometimes totally off limits.
Okay, so let's switch gears a bit. We've talked about its cultural roots, but now let's look at why it's become this modern-day superfood. Because packed inside this tiny seed is a giant amount of nutrition.
When you roast Chaulai, something magical happens. It pops, almost like miniature popcorn, and it releases this wonderful nutty smell. It's this fantastic texture and taste that makes it so useful in the kitchen. But the real magic is what it does for your body. Just to give you an idea of its power, a 100-gram serving is absolutely loaded with protein, fiber, and key minerals like iron and magnesium. Let's just zoom in on a few of its most incredible qualities. First up, the protein. We're talking over 15 grams per serving. That makes Chaulai an absolute powerhouse for building and repairing muscle. And get this, it's what's called a complete protein, which means it has all 9 essential amino acids. That's something that is incredibly rare to find in a single plant-based food. And this is a huge one for a lot of people. It is naturally completely gluten-free. This makes it a fantastic, safe source of nutrition for anyone with celiac disease or gluten intolerance. It's just a wonderful, wholesome alternative to wheat. It's also loaded with iron. I mean, over 12 milligrams per serving. Iron is that vital mineral that's absolutely crucial for keeping your energy levels up and for helping to prevent things like anemia. You know, long before we had all these fancy nutritional charts, the people in the Himalayas already knew how powerful Chaulai was. They considered it a Ramban Aushadh, basically a cure-all. Traditional healers used it for everything from digestive problems and skin conditions to soothing painful swellings.
So this brings us to the latest chapter in Chaulai's story. How did this humble mountain crop start its journey to become a legally protected, globally recognized treasure?
Well, the answer lies in something called a Geographical Indication tag, or a GI tag. The easiest way to think of it is like a copyright, but for a region's heritage. It's a legal seal that guarantees a product's authentic origin and its unique qualities. It protects it from fakes and makes sure its legacy lives on.
And this timeline just captures its incredible rise perfectly. For most of its history, it was just a simple barter crop that farmers used for local trade. Then, after 2005, its popularity just started to climb and climb until finally, on December 4th, 2023, Uttarakhand Chaulai was officially awarded the GI tag. That moment cemented its status as a unique, protected product of the Himalayas.
But really, this story isn't just about legal tags or how much it costs in the market.
The revival of Chaulai is a true harvest of hope. It's having a huge positive impact on the very communities that have been growing it for centuries.
For these communities, Chaulai has become a genuine lifeline. In a region where men often have to leave to find work, women are the traditional keepers of the fields. The growing demand for Chaulai has empowered women's self-help groups, turning them into micro-entrepreneurs and giving them vital financial independence for their families. It's a game changer.
So how do people actually enjoy this grain? Oh, it is unbelievably versatile. It's famously rolled into these sweet little balls called ladus, which are often served as a sacred offering in temples. Its flour makes delicious, nutritious rotis, and you can cook the seeds just like rice. And get this, even its leaves are stir-fried into a healthy, tasty vegetable dish called Chaulai saag.
So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this one thought. The story of Uttarakhand Chaulai, it shows us that a single grain can be so much more than just food. It's a piece of history, it's a symbol of resilience, and it's a source of hope. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? When we protect a grain, are we just saving a crop, or are we preserving an entire culture?